All right, welcome everybody to the Maximum Speed Racing League race here tonight at Dover. 150 laps these guys going to be turning here tonight. In the booth with me, I've got a very good driver out on the track, but I asked him to join me in the booth tonight, and he took up the chance. So welcome there, Aaron Davis. Appreciate you hanging out with me tonight, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Looking forward to broadcasting here at MaxSpeedTV at Dover. It's going to be fun.
What are you expecting out here tonight, Aaron? Are you expecting some, good side-by-side racing? I'm not asking you to pick a winner or anything like that, but what kind of racing are you expecting by some of these guys?
That's a hard question because judging by the practice races, I think we may have a couple cautions at the beginning of the race, and then as we move on down, get a couple laps under our belt, we're all going to string out and we're all going to have like a long green flag run, and that's how the practice race went. That's how I hope it's going to go tonight. So you may see a few wrecks, or you may see just the whole way green, which we've seen here before multiple times.
Last season we've seen they ran 119 green flag laps consecutively. We had two cautions in that race, one on like lap 2 and then one with like 3 to go. So I mean, really, these guys, they know how to race these tracks, and a lot's changed. The build has changed on these trucks, and they are a little bit looser, I think, in the turns than they were on the previous build when we ran last season. But I think as much practicing that the guys have been doing on it, I think they've got a pretty good handle on it.
Yeah, we've done multiple practice sessions at a practice race last night, and it seems like we're shaping up to we're gonna have a good race. And I hope there's not many cautions in it, because once we get on a green flag run, as we saw last night, there was really good racing up at the lead between 3 people until some of them wrecked. But hopefully we see that again tonight, just hard racing and just not a lot of cautions.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we kind of strive for here, at Maximum Speed Racing, and not a lot of channels. So, not a lot of channels. Yeah, not a lot of cautions. Hey, Ed.
Hey, sorry to bother you in the booth real quick, Rudy.
Sorry.
I gotta switch over so I can watch. I can't not watch, but I gotta be in the race so I can talk to these guys. I can't be a spectator. I mean, to be a spectator, I can't even talk to nobody in there.
All you do is switch it to driver.
I did it when let me.
Well, I know, but once you've joined as watch, I don't think it'll allow you to leave and come back and join the race.
Oh no, I just messed that up probably. All right, I'll talk to you in a bit.
Well, you just ask. You might run up and ask Jeremy or Kevin or Michael or somebody up there should know how you switch. I mean, you have to go into your settings and switch it to the next one.
Okay.
You just have to be driver,
Right. Okay, good luck tonight, guys.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Do it.
Look at that. Thank you, Aaron, for being in the booth with Rudy tonight.
Yep, no problem.
See, I have mine set up on on my wheel. I can go scroll right through them, to whichever one I want.
Yeah, I have
Driver,
that too. Yeah.
Stator.
And the drivers are practicing their pit parties here, and so far so good. We've had a couple people just get loose and spin just here and there, but so far good side-by-side racing.
And we talk about it each week, Aaron, is respect out there on that track, and giving each other, that respect on the track, because if you don't respect the guy that you're racing with, he may not respect you next time, and give the guy the room. If he's faster than you, move over and let him go by. You'll reel him in later. that's a key factor here. And this track here, not one that you can flat foot. You know, obviously you have to be a good driver here. Pit road is a whole nother animal. As you know, Aaron, pit road speed 35 miles an hour. That's painful.
Yep, Dover it has pit road like a short track, but it doesn't really drive like a short track because of the banking.
Right.
It's not how you have to get on the brakes so hard. It's really tricky coming off the corners because you don't know if it's going to be tight. Because if you get on the gas too early, it's just going to shoot you to the wall, and if you get on it too late, then you're going to spin right around. You're going to have too much power in the tires, and you have to really conserve everything here to get to the finish without spinning out or sliding your tires and heating them up.
And once you get these tires hot, it takes a couple of laps for them to cool back down, 3 or 4 laps sometimes, and you got to back off the gas and let them cool down.
Yep, and you're going to lose a lot of positions here because Dover is unforgiving on tires.
Yes. So yeah, I'm expecting a pretty decent race here. By the way, Aaron, is your family watching?
Yes, they currently are, and one of my good friends, Dustin, is watching from school.
Cool.
So hello to all of them.
They say the stream is coming out good?
Mm-hmm.
Good. That's
I'm actually texting my friend right now.
Very good. Very good. Tell them there's still a couple people we haven't got the pictures for, and we will get them. But for the most part, I think we've got 3/4 of the folks with their picture on them, so they can see what they look like in real life.
It really looks really nice what Jeremy did with all the graphics.
Yeah, I wish there was something I could do or say to show our gratification for the work he's put into this. He loves doing this stuff, but I'm telling you what, the man is a freaking expert at this stuff. You know, I mean, I can't believe it.
Yeah, and he does really good work with all the overlays and everything, the graphics, and the YouTube channel now. I know he's helping with that a little bit. And the logos for all the trucks that we have on our trucks, he just does an outstanding job.
He's a perfectionist. I got to say that. And I said that to him one day, and he agreed with me. He goes, "Yeah, I kind of am." You know, he is a perfectionist.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah. I don't have anything wrong with that. I kind of am in a way when things just don't look right to me. I try and strive to make sure that I can do everything I can humanly do to try to make it better, you know. I want it to be right and be perfect.
Mm-hmm. That's what you have to do, because if you don't, then you're not going to go very far. You need to have that extra oomph in you to work harder for it. And the broadcast now is amazing. It's, in my opinion, one of the best broadcasts with the best graphics and everything on iRacing now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks so nice, and with the I haven't seen anybody with pictures up besides us for the drivers.
I have one other one, but I don't think they were as neat. And the pictures being kind of a little bit bigger, you know. And we've also got the numbers that actually have a like a reflection to them, sort of. It's a simulated reflection, you know. You don't really notice it that much, but on some numbers you do, some you don't.
And with the logos and for our street and everything.
Yep, sponsors. Got the sponsors on there, and you know, like I said, Jeremy's just outdone them. So, but let's kind of go around the track a little bit here, Aaron, and talk about the drivers a little bit. I'm going to go to a different camera view here so I can we can actually see what the truck and car or truck looks like. But let's start out with David Howard Jr. pass.
David's been really fast, right? This week he's running third right now in practice, and he's been fast all practices.
He won the practice race last night. Just being patient, and that's what really counts, I mean, it was unfortunate what happened up front, and just some really good hard racing. But I think he did pretty well. Last season's champion, crowned the champion of our first season here at Maximum Speed Racing. So David, definitely a major contender, definitely one to look out for.
And tonight, being patient, it's going to help you. And I think David's a real contender for the win, and definitely for a top 3, a podium finish, or a top 5.
All right, as they're going around here, we'll get another one. Let's get, okay, we'll go with Rush here. I got the camera on Rush now. Rush, not like a front runner at the beginning of the race, but definitely one not to count out. He will be there probably in the top 10 come the end of the race.
Yeah, Rush, he just sticks it out and goes to the long haul, and that's how he gets all these good finishes. He finished 5th in the points last season. I'm not sure about that. I know he finished pretty high up in the points, and he's a contender for a good finish here in a top 10 or a top 5.
All right, Tony Godwin. Tony, he's a very strong runner just about everywhere we go, and but Tony is beatable.
Yep.
He's won, I believe, 2 races so far this season.
3, I think.
3, okay.
Yep, 3.
Out of 6. But very strong driver. He knows how to get around his tracks, but he is beatable.
And he won Dover last season. But he's so fast, and short tracks are sort of his forte, but this is not sort of his forte of track. He likes a short, flat track. It's slippery, and Dover is really slippery if you get on the gas at the right time. And it's playing out in Tony's hands. All these tracks that we're running at the beginning of the season, all these short tracks are playing into Tony's hands.
All right, let's go to William Kirk. William Kirk, always a strong contender. This track not being one of his favorites. I know he did tell me that. He thought he'd come out here and was really fast, and he said, man, after a few of the other guys come out here, Tony and Sean and Jeremy and stuff, he said, I'm not very fast now. But William's always there. He's strong on new tires, and he's got to learn a little bit how to drive it on old tires, though, my opinion.
Yeah. And he's right now 6th or 7th in the points, and he's had a couple of bad weeks, but he's always running the top 5, top 10, and with the speeds that he's showing in practice, it seems like he can get a top 10 finish, maybe even a top 5 finish here tonight, if he can just conserve his truck good enough.
Roger that. All right, Steve. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to take a look at Sean Butler, because I have a feeling he's going to be battling Tony for the lead most of the night tonight, because he's running really close lap times with Tony. He's ran these lap times consistently throughout this practice and throughout all the other practices. He's a point leader. He has a win under his belt. So right now I think he's just sort of playing it safe for the season, trying to get as many points as he can in the beginning and set himself up for the end of the season and maybe win the championship.
Very good, very good. Yeah, Sean, one of Tony's dreaded competitors, because Sean can run as good as Tony, and Tony knows it. They love racing each other, they just love it. I've heard it come out of both of their mouths. They just love to race each other. And watching a few of them guys racing last night in the practice race, they proved it. The side-by-side racing was just amazing. So, all right, let's go to Steve Hurst. Steve Hurst, not a real strong contender, likes to come out here now. He's driving from his place in Michigan tonight. Does not have a very good internet connection. May drop out. And I believe what he said, he may just turn a couple of laps. and probably park it for the night because he doesn't want to be out there blinking and causing problems. So we respect that out of Steve. One of our only rookies in the league. I think we've only got a couple of rookies. So, but Steve has come a long way. He's improved 100%. Not 100%, but probably about 70%. He's improved. Come a long ways in his driving skills from last season. So, great job by Steve. Let's see. Teddy Wisniewski, one of the new guys here. I don't really have a lot of data on him, but he seems like a pretty good driver. Don't you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I know him a little better than I think you do, maybe, because I've hung around him quite a bit. I've raced with him a lot, and he's fast. He's just not very consistent. He's not very good at conserving. He's like, oh, I'm fast. Let's get to the front. But here tonight, he's going to learn you cannot do that at Dover, because Dover will eat you up and spit you out, because it is unforgiving on tires. And if you run these trucks too hard at the beginning of the race like he likes to do, you're going to be in the back, just slipping and sliding everywhere.
I agree.
And that's not meant to like insult Teddy. It's just meant that's how I see how he drives, and he can be fast consistently. It's just at the end of the run he sort of falls off.
All right, Matthew Breckel. He's another one of them. He likes to lay in the back, be conservative, and save his equipment for the end. He did pretty well in the practice race last night. I was very proud of him. He came from in the back of the field. I don't remember exactly where he finished, but I think he was in. Boy, don't quote me on it. I think he was in the top 5. He like
he's
finished
running 8th right now.
Yeah, he finished like 5th or something, and I think he started 7th last night, qualified in 7th. So great job by Matthew, and I think he's going to be a really good racer with our league.
He already is. His first race I think was Homestead, which was our last race, and I think Dover. He really likes Dover because he's ran really fast and he seems really comfortable running here. So I think he's a contender for a good finish. Also, if you want to get a top 5 or a top 10, I think you're going to have to battle him on the road.
Yeah, he's a very respectful driver, and I hear this out of a lot of guys out there. I heard this last night in our meeting after the practice race that he's one of the most respectful drivers out on the track. One of them. He will give you that line. He communicates with you. He tells you, hey, I'm going to stay high so you guys can go low or whatever. So very respectful driver. All right. Well, let's go to Jeremy Patterson. Sean Patterson. Oh, he'll kill me for that.
Yep.
Jeremy Patterson. So go ahead, Aaron.
Well, Jeremy here at Dover, he can lay down fast laps, consistent laps, and last night he was running up in the front until he got tangled up with Eric Brantley and David Howard Jr. battling for the lead. And I think later in the run he's a real contender because Jeremy once he gets concentrated into that mode, it's really hard to beat Jeremy because he's just so good and so consistent, it's just hard to pass him. And he's going to be a contender in the top 3, I would say.
Definitely. I agree. Yeah, he's right now he's 7th, in this run, in this this little pit party we're having. But like you said, he definitely will be there at the end, as long as he doesn't get wrecked out.
Yep.
All right. Let's see, Everett Lane. Now we don't really know a lot about Everett Lane. One of our newest members here. I believe he raced in the Road America race with us, and he didn't do too bad. That's kind of a tough track to come into the league and try to run, but he got his feet wet a little bit, and not a bad racer. I got a lot of respect for Everett Lane. I think he's a pretty damn good racer.
Yeah, he's a nice guy also, and he's really clean on the track.
Yep, sir.
How about Dustin Lee? I know I haven't seen him practice very much this week. I haven't talked to him at all, but It seems like how he's running right now in the 5th position, he has a good chance of running the top 5. Watching him in the pit parties, he's been really consistent and racing everybody really hard. But I still think he's trying to find some speed, because I know Dustin, he can get up there and race with Sean and Tony sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, Dustin's one you never want to count out anywhere, because he's there, you know, and he will race you hard. So
Yep.
I got to give Dustin Lee a lot of credit for his aggressiveness. Sometimes it can hurt him, or you know, sometimes he might hook somebody, but it's not on purpose. He's just an aggressive driver. You know, so
That's what you have to be, because if you're too passive, you're just going to ride in the back the entire race.
like me.
Dustin gets up there, yeah, and me also. But Dustin, he's really smart. He's really smart, but sometimes he sort of, like you said, he races a little aggressive.
Hey, Rudy and Aaron.
Yeah.
Sorry to bother you again, buddy. Give me a number from 1 to 20.
Well, I can't say it over the broadcast.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Just poke it. Poke him.
Yeah, I'll poke
Yeah,
you.
poke me.
I'll poke you a number. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Rudy.
Yes, sir. Does that sound good?
Sounds good, buddy.
All right.
Have fun. Good luck.
All right. See ya.
User left your channel.
Okay, Eric Brantley. We haven't talked about Eric yet. Eric is another one that he's an aggressive driver. Sometimes I think he kind of overdrives a little bit, like I do. If I try to be aggressive, I get dangerous out on the track. And I'm not saying he's dangerous. I'm just saying that I think sometimes he overdrives it just a little bit, like I do, you know. And that usually gets me in trouble. But Eric can be a good contender.
Yeah, he can. He's when he is on a run and he's really competitive, you don't want to get in his way, because he is not afraid to use that bumper on the front of his truck.
Mm-hmm.
If he's faster than you, you know it. He drives a lot like Dale Earnhardt when he is really competitive and fast on tracks.
Roger that. All right, let's see. Who else haven't we talked about out here? Michael D'Amico. We haven't talked about Michael D'Amico yet. Michael D'Amico, very strong runner here. He hasn't been running really great here in practice, but definitely another one that's kind of like in the middle of the pack, but don't count him out at the end.
We've seen that too.
Yep.
At the end of the Charlotte race, he got up there and he won that race.
Mm-hmm. He knows
Just
how
being
to turn
conservative.
He knows how to turn the power on at the end of the race. So
Definitely. So if he's at the end of the race, I'd watch out for him. He's going to be a contender.
yes, sir. All right, Sean Dorr, another newcomer to the league. I guess I'm going to kind of put him in that middle category too there. I've seen him in other races, and he does quite well. I haven't seen him in too many short tracks. I've seen him mainly on like speedways and super speedways, but he does quite well. He's a young man, good driver, and you know, I guess, you know, I'm kind of thankful to have him in the league with us, and let's kind of see how good he can do here tonight.
Yeah, I would. Sean, he's fast at certain tracks. Like, I don't think short tracks are his real forte, but on a speedway or super speedway, he's really fast.
Yep. Yeah, he's one you don't want to count out. You know, and even like medium-sized tracks, 1.5 to 2 miles, he does pretty decent on too. So it's I don't know how good he does on real short ones. You know, so I guess tonight's going to be a good test for some of these guys. And patience. Patience is going to be the biggest key, I think, here tonight.
Because if you're not patient, like I said before, it's not going to be pretty here at Dover.
Nope. And we don't want to see a lot of cautions, you know. And you know, and the drivers need to understand the new rules have gone into play. And we're trying to clean this stuff up and make sure that, you know, the drivers that are out here want to have a good race. And, you know, if they're not having a good racing experience, then they're not going to stick around, you know. Did Steve Barding leave, or?
I think he's still in here, but last night that was the first time that I have seen him, and he seems like a really consistent racer.
Yeah.
Like back in fifth through 10th, that's where he usually stays. And at the end of the race, he can be a hard charger, like we saw last night, and challenge for third. I think he was challenging for last night.
Yeah, he's not on the track right now, but he's still in the server, so good. Yeah, I think, you know, we're going to have a pretty decent field here tonight. About 17 drivers on the track, so pretty good turnout. Should be pretty good. We're coming down to about 2 minutes till qualifying. Not sure if they're going to try to get another pit party going or not, but definitely something I think that, you know, has been an added thing here that we've kind of added was trying to get more organized pit parties, let these guys run around each other a little more before it's time to go racing, you know. And because everybody has their own braking points, everybody has their own throttle point, and, you know, not only does the driver need to learn where he needs to brake, but the people around him need to learn when he's going to brake and when he's going to hit the gas. And, you know, if he gets a little loose, what's he going to do? You know, is he going to try to stay high and stay out of the way, or is he going to go low and stay out of the way? So it's a learning curve for everybody out on the track.
Yep. And it's just, you have these drivers, they've been really comfortable with the people that ran last season, but these new guys, we don't really know a lot about the new guys yet because they haven't been here very long, and they're just going to have to tiptoe, around them and just learn how they race.
Exactly.
So they can't be too aggressive, or they're going to, like I said, they're going to either be in the hauler at the end of the night or complaining.
Yep. So, all right, well, I think we pretty much went around the track and covered everybody, Aaron. Great job. You know.
I think we did leave out Kevin O'Brien, maybe.
Oh, you know, I think you're right, but, you know, I don't see him on the track right at the moment. But Kevin, let's talk about Kevin a little bit. Kevin, one of our admins in the race here, you know, we'll clear the black flags and whatnot for people, but Kevin, not a bad racer either. Did very well at Road America. I was very impressed. I think, you know, the road courses are definitely his forte. Definitely.
Yeah, because he's grown up around it more than we have. And I don't think he's taken too kindly to Dover. He hasn't been running very fast lap times, but I think he's just going to bide his time and finish the race here tonight.
And he's one of our Aussies. One of our Aussies.
Yep, we have two. I don't think the other one's here tonight, though.
I thought I seen him in TeamSpeak, but yeah, I don't see him in the Andrew Williams. He's another one of our Aussies. So, okay, well, the guy's going to be... I didn't really want to be on anybody. Doggone it. All right, so let's get some of this stuff here off of here. And we're going to pull up the results, and we're going to see how that ain't what I wanted.
Hey, wake up.
Poking me now. What is TVWB? I have no idea. What is TVWB?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, web broadcast maybe or something?
I don't know.
Everett Lane. Where the heck is he at?
He's in the ETV channel.
Poking info here, but Oh, okay. I think this is what I meant to put up, a running order.
And so far, we've sort of seen. In qualifying, it seems like Tony again is fastest in qualifying. I sort of expected that Tony started up front since he's so used to short tracks, but like I said earlier, Sean is really fast here and he's really consistent here, so I wouldn't expect Tony to get too far away from Sean. I don't think Sean would let him do that.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Sean turn in a lap time yet, but I expect Sean to be right up there with him. Ah, there he does.
Yep.
And that's only lap 1. So he could be threatening Tony. He does take over the second spot from David Howard Jr., though.
And about starting positions with like inside and outside lane choice, or not really choice, but how you start. I think starting on the outside here today is going to be the most beneficial because that line is sort of in the middle of the track and you can get to it a whole lot better. And the inside, you get really loose coming off the corner, so I think whoever starts on the outside is going to have an advantage.
Well, that could be a good call.
Hey, Rudy, this is Michael D'Amico. Do you got a copy?
Where's he talking to me at?
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know where he...
I'm on TeamSpeak, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, Michelangelo's Painting's going to throw up $5 the first, second, and third tonight.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Have a good time up there tonight.
Roger that, and thank you. All right, Michelangelo Painting going to throw up $5 to the top 3 people on the podium. Nice. All right, qualifying is just about over. And again, yeah, like you said, Tony Godwin on the pole, Sean Butler nipping on his heels there. David Howard Jr. third, Dustin Lee rolling in fourth. Pretty tight up to about the 5th spot there, Aaron.
Yep. Tony, he got a really good lap there. I haven't seen anybody run a 6, but just now in practice. But second through 4th is all within pretty close times of each other. Even 5th is really close.
Yeah. I mean, they're all within a 10th, you know, or
Yep.
maybe just a hair more than a 10th of a second from each other. So very close. So Steve Barding coming in 6th. Well, they're okay. They're going to they're going to gridding now. So let's get over here to the gridding.
Hey, guys, I'm going to say something real quick. Is that all right?
Yeah.
No, not really. I could fall from Mako.
Damn.
My business, Michelangelo's Painting.
I forgot. I didn't have them muted out there on the track. I was like, what?
Yeah, that could have been bad.
So, all right. Well, we're going to head down here and get on the rear chase view of these guys, and we're gonna do this the old-fashioned way because I like it this way. I like going through them this way. So, as soon as Tony grids here, and Aaron, I'll do the top 10, and you can do the rest of them. How's that?
That sounds good to me.
Just don't include yourself.
Yeah.
All right, well, anyhow, Tony Godwin on the pole with a 23.678 in the 01. In second place, the 88 of Sean Butler. In third place, the number 7 of David Howard Jr. In fourth, 51 of Dustin Lee. In fifth, Teddy Wisniewski rolling in with the number 44 in 5th place. In 6th, the 83 of Steve Barding. In 7th, the 78 of Michael Johnson. In 8th, the 38 of Jeremy Patterson. In 9th, the 84 of Kevin O'Brien. And in 10th, the 62 of Michael D'Amico.
And in 11th, Everett D. Lane in the number 1 with a 24.581, and number 12 in the 12th spot, Matthew Breckel in the 17 with a 26.033. And our non-qualifiers, the number 9 of William D. Kirk, the number 69 of Jared Aki, the number 86 of Eric Brantley, the number 66 of Sean Dorr, the 14 and Steve Hurst will round out your field.
All right. Good deal. All right, and they're rolling off the grid here, Aaron. And we're going to get up here to live. Make sure we are live. And they're on their pace lap as they get ready to come around here. The lights are off on the pace car. And this time by, ladies and gentlemen, we're going green flag racing here, 150 laps at Dover International Speedway. 150 laps, long haul.
Very long haul. Patience, patience, patience.
All right, pace car getting ready to duck off, and it does. Tony leading them down. And green flag, here we go. Off and running.
A couple people spun their tires on the restart there. Backed up part of the field.
And as we expected, Aaron, Tony and Sean right out there leading the way.
Yep, Tony grabs the early lead just by about half a car length, but Sean's not going to let him go anywhere.
And David Howard Jr. rolling into the 3rd spot now. A patient driver, but he's not wanting to let those leaders get out there too awful far. And everybody wanting to get out there and lead one lap to get that valuable point for leading a lap. So we may see some lead changes here early on, or not. Tony might lead them all, who knows?
Jeremy Patterson just overtook Michael Johnson for the 7th position there on the track. But it seems like now they're all single filed out. They're just going to try to run some laps here.
Michael Johnson back to the 8th. Michael D'Amico in the 9th place. Just kind of hanging loose there, being patient. I see some patience going on right now till they get these cars, the trucks settled in, get their little heat in their tires and start feeling the grip on them. So until that happens, have to see this single file and be a lot of patience.
Yep. And Sean Butler right now is challenging for the lead from Tony Godwin. Going down the front straightaway, he has a nose under him, but he can't do it off turns 3 and 4.
And those two very strong in the practice race last night. Man, they were side by side having a ball up there running.
But I think Sean maybe learned his lesson there because David caught up to him, almost got up to their bumper, and that allowed Dustin Lee to close in on him too.
These guys kind of hang out here. We're going to go around the track here. Steve Hurst now on pit road. Kevin O'Brien running in the 14th spot back here in the Jinx Chevy Silverado. So everybody's settling into a spot here. Eric Brantley in the 16th, I'm showing him. I guess that must have changed when they crossed the line or something. 15th, okay. Yeah, Kevin O'Brien now in the 16th, okay. Jared Akey in the 14th spot. Running real good. These guys just kind of saving their tires back here. It looks like Eric Brantley looking on the inside of Jared, trying to complete that pass. Oh, man. Comes up close.
He cut it really close there.
Yeah, that was pretty close. And he does get a run on Jared. Jared goes up a little bit high and lets him go. So good racing. That's some good respect out there by these guys. Great job. moves into the 14th spot now. Sean Dorr settling into the 13th. About 7 seconds behind our leader, but that's not all bad. William Kirk trying to settle into the 12th spot, and Matthew Breckel in the 11th. Matthew's just moved up about 1 position from where he started. He gets a little bit loose in the turn, goes down low, and William Kirk does get by him. And that lets Sean Dorr close right up on the back bumper of Matthew. And it looks like Matthew going low and letting Sean go by him too. So Matthew letting these guys go back by him, being patient. Great job by Matthew.
And Jeremy Patterson, he overtook Steve Barding just now for the 6th position. And Jeremy, he's moved up 2 positions since the start of this race, and he's showing that he's really strong at the beginning of the run. Falling away from this pack and catching Teddy Wisniewski.
He knows how to manage his tires. I got to give Jeremy a lot of credit for that. You know, he's a very consistent driver. He'll stay out there and run the same lap times. If you look at his lap times, they haven't fallen off a whole big bunch. Maybe a half a second since the start, and you know, very good job he's doing out there. Teddy Wisniewski up here to the 5th spot, hanging in there with these guys, doing a great job. I think he's got a handle on this a little bit better. He was having a lot of problems in practice, kind of losing it coming out of the turns there.
Yep, and I think Sean Butler has gotten by Tony Godwin for the lead here.
By gosh, he did. All right, Sean showing the way. Great job. I wish I'd have got that pass on camera. Doggone it.
And right now, the leaders are single file, and it seems like Dustin and David Howard, they can stay with them, but when they start battling, that's when they really close on them. As Tony's going for another pass in 3 and 4 on Sean right now. He does it.
He let Sean get out there and lead a couple laps for that point. He says, all right, I'm going back around now. And you know they could be doing that too. I mean, they are in TeamSpeak together in the same channel. And says, okay, Sean, I'll let you go and lead a couple laps so you get that point. They could be. I don't know if they are. I'm saying it could be.
Yep, and David Howard, he caught up to him about 2/10 when they did that too. So
yes, sir.
they need to watch how they race up there, because they could be both getting passed for the lead.
16 laps down. They're coming to the end of 16. These front 4 kind of pulling away from the rest of the field by just a little bit. Teddy back here in the 5th spot, almost 2 seconds behind the leader now.
Now, Tony pulled out to just a little bit of a lead to Sean now, about a couple car lengths, but what they need to do now, they just need to calm down, let their tires just settle in, which I think they already have, and just run the race.
I agree. I mean, very good job these guys are doing out front here, you know, pulling the rest of this field around and showing some muscle. But I agree, you know, they need to just kind of settle down a little bit and start saving them tires. I mean, Tony's dropped from his fastest lap. He's about a second slower than his fastest lap. So we're already seeing tire fall off.
Yep.
And I think probably you might agree, Aaron, that some of that's probably, you know, from the hard racing him and Sean was doing right there. You know, that's pretty hard on your tires.
And especially at Dover, because tires, they fall off really quick here.
Yes, sir.
And you really have to conserve them. As Tony's pulling out to even more of a lead now.
Jeremy
and
Hayes.
David Howard.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And David Howard catching Sean Butler, though. And
So Sean may be showing a little bit of a sign of tire fall off, maybe a little more than what David Howard, because David wasn't up there battling for that lead like Sean and Tony were, you know.
Yep. And tire conservation here, that's key.
Oh boy, is it ever. Yes, it is. Yeah, David Howard hanging right on the bumper there. Tell you what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and we're going to do a little roof cam that I come up with. I think it's pretty cool. Because he's right on Sean's bumper, not too far away. And you may have to speak up a little bit for me to hear you, Aaron, because it's kind of a little bit louder here. He's looking on the inside of Sean now, and two battling for the second position. And
you heard David.
He does get a run on him.
And you heard David there in 1 and 2. He had to lift to get out of the throttle because he had such a big run on Sean.
Yes, he did. Looks like he has cleared him now. So great job, great racing by these two. Sean maybe used up a little bit of the stuff there battling Tony, and now he's starting to see a little bit of fall off on his tires. We'll go back on him here as he's following David Howard around. And Sean is falling back to about 1.4 seconds behind our leader, Tony.
And you can really see Sean, he's sliding in the tires in there really hard and trying to get the best run that he can, and I think that's really killing his tires.
Yeah, I agree. We got 25 laps about to be in the books. 125 to go, folks. These leaders still showing some pretty strong muscle out here, so quite a ways back to Dustin Lee. Dustin Lee about 3.6 seconds behind the leader now. And back here to Teddy Wisniewski, about 4.4 seconds in fifth. And Jeremy Patterson, 5.3 seconds behind our leader.
And Jeremy is coming fast on Dustin and Teddy Wisniewski right now. He is a hard charger coming through this field right now.
Yes, he is. Jeremy picking up a tenth or two here and there, or half a tenth here and there. Teddy a little bit faster in some parts of the track than Jeremy, and other parts Jeremy's faster. So right at the moment, they're running right around about 8 tenths apart. Teddy has closed up on Dustin Lee by quite a little bit, though, and we might be looking at a battle coming on there, Aaron.
Yep. And Jeremy, he's lurking back there, and once they start battling, maybe what we saw with the leaders, David Howard how he caught them, maybe Jeremy's going to do that and pick up 2 positions.
And Sean just passed David Howard Jr. to go back into the second position now. So 30 laps coming in the book, so wow.
Yep, and Sean and David, I think they're racing maybe just a little bit too hard at the beginning of the race here, because Tony's pulling away from him quite a bit now.
Yeah, he's about 1.8 seconds ahead of Sean now, so he's going to have to kind of chill just a little bit and save them tires. So we've had 2 lead changes, no cautions after 30 laps, so great job by these guys out here.
We do get a caution while William Kirk was on pit road.
Wow.
So that has messed up Williams' plans quite a bit, and that looked like it was maybe Eric Brantley.
All right, well, we're going to rewind this back and we'll watch it from the far chase view. And see exactly what happens here. Eric Brantley comes around the turn. You say that was Sean Dorr?
Yep, and he sort of caught his bumper there and just clipped him. Sort of what we saw last night in the practice race when Jeremy Patterson clipped Eric Brantley.
Oh yeah, yep. Sean got a little bit loose there and come down into Eric. Yep. Okay. So, all right. So Sean Dorr bringing out first caution on lap 33.
And it looks like that may have been Sean Dorr that came back around and clipped Eric again. So Sean Dorr, that's his reset. We only have one.
Yes, sir. And all the leaders coming down on pit road now. And we'll see what kind of pit strategies these guys are going to play out here, Aaron. And even if I have to slow it down here to try to catch everybody's pit stop, I will. Because we want to see if some of the different pit strategies here is see if they're going to take 2 tires, 4 tires. Everybody comes into their pit stop here, and I'm going to slow it down so we can kind of watch this and see what the guys do here. Tony putting on right side tires, everybody putting on right side. I see everybody doing that now.
I think a lot of people only just took 2.
And let's see here.
Nope, they all took 4.
Tony's
No,
taking, everybody taking 4 tires. So probably a good call by these guys as we get back up here live again.
And I think Sean Butler, that really benefited Sean because he had used, I think he used a lot of his tires up at the beginning of the race, battling Tony and David.
All right, so now we've got to see here what William Kirk is 2 laps down, so he'll, and probably that you said he was in the pits when the caution come out.
Yep, I was going to say something about that. He was pulling some strategy there, and caution came out right when he was down pit road about to go into his box.
Wow, I bet you he's upset.
Yep, not very. William, he's been racing good in the back of the pack I've seen, but he just got a little bit unlucky on that pit stop.
Exactly. Okay, he gets away by. He'll get one of his laps back. And I see pretty much everybody come out the same way they went in.
Mm-hmm.
David Howard 3rd, Dustin Lee 4th, Teddy Wisniewski 5th, Jeremy Patterson 6th, Michael Johnson 7th, Steve Barding up to the 8th spot, Rush up to 9th, Everett Lane 10th, Michael D'Amico 11th, Sean Dorr 12th, Matthew Breckel 13th, Kevin O'Brien 14th, Eric Brantley, I believe he's supposed to be 15th, I think. It's kind of messed up there. And back here, William Kirk should be, I don't know, that'll all sort out. It's either they're backwards or something. They haven't crossed the stripe yet. So, but yeah, it'll be, because Eric Brantley's 4 laps down, so he will be in 16th. All right, well, everybody's starting to double back up as the lights go off on the pace car, and we're going back to green flag racing this time, Aaron.
And before we go back green, I do want to say another shout out to my friend Dustin, his brother William watching, hello, and to my family. Hello to all the viewers out there watching us.
All right, everybody gearing down and making sure they're in the right gear. We don't want to see any tire spins. Man, that costs when they do that. Pace car ducks off. Tony brings them around out of 4, turn 4 here, coming to the line. And green, 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 here we go.
Sean staying right with Tony, but Tony gets that run on the bottom side there. Seemed like the outside had a little bit of an iffy start there.
David Howard staying on the inside of Sean there, and that would be for the second position, and it looks like he does complete that pass. He comes up right in front of Sean, so great job. These three here, we know, these 3 here, 4 are going to have a good battle going on. As Teddy Wisniewski moves into the 4th position now.
And Michael Johnson's battling Dustin Lee for the 6th spot, I think that is.
Wow.
4th spot, 5th spot.
Good racing going on here. Jeremy Patterson trying to get a nose in on that too.
And Michael D'Amico passes Rush, or is trying to pass Rush behind them, but Jeremy going for the nose under Dustin right now for the 6th position.
These guys are really racing hard back here in the pack. And I always say this, Aaron, sometimes some of the best racing is back in the pack,
Mm-hmm.
Sean Dorr gets by Rush. Almost touched in one turn there, but I don't believe they did. But I'm sure it probably scared the daylights out of Rush here for a minute.
Now most of the field's sorted out now.
Michael D'Amico into the 7th. Dustin Lee back in 7th. Jeremy Patterson 6th. Michael Johnson now moving into the 5th spot. Teddy Wisniewski here. Oh, Tony, we got a new leader.
David Howard Jr.
Looky, Archway Cookie. Tony goes back into that 2nd spot, though. But David Howard Jr. getting out there and gonna lead a lap this time by, folks.
Last year's champion, and he would love to make it 2 in a row.
Oh, I'm sure he would. Somebody's got to beat that title, whether he does it or not. All right, so David Howard Jr. showing the way here on lap 42. So we've had 3 lead changes now. So very good for this track as David taps the wall and Tony gets a run on him on the inside. I think David did what he wanted to do. He wanted to get out there and lead that lap. And
Sean gets by him too.
Yeah. So when he hit that wall, that cost him a little bit of momentum. And Sean not giving up on the back bumper of Tony Godwin at all.
Back here in the 6th, 7th, and 8th position, I've noticed they've caught this lead pack really fast. They were Dustin Lee, Jeremy Patterson, and Michael Johnson. They have caught up to the back of Teddy Wisniewski, and they're not very far away from the leaders.
Yeah, definitely. These guys here run really good. Everybody out there on them 4 fresh fuel goods, though, on full tank of fuel. All the balance is set right in the trucks, and boy, it feels like you feel like Superman when you're out there running with all that new stuff on.
Yep.
But you get about 10, 15 laps on it, and you start feeling that little bit of crunch. Jeremy trying to close in on Michael Johnson for that 5th position. There's Teddy Wisniewski still in the 4th position, running pretty good. David Howard Jr. still back here in the 3rd. Sean still looking for any way he can to get by Tony. Like I said earlier, Aaron, I watched those 2 battle last night in the practice racing. Oh my God, was that a blast watching them 2 battle. They're getting ready to go side by side right now. They raced side by side for quite a few laps last night, and that was intense. Oh my God, was it intense. And here they are, side by side again tonight. Look at this.
Tony's holding strong on the outside, but Sean's trying to make it work on the inside while David's lurking back there.
Oh, yeah.
And meanwhile, this is letting the rest of the field catch back up to them.
Good
Sean's
battle.
going to get it this lap.
And he does, and he comes up in front of Tony. Oh, and he gets loose coming out of the turn. Whoa. So here they go, side by side again. That's probably going to cost Sean a little bit. They might have got a little bit of too much heat in them tires.
Yeah, but he's still holding strong on the inside of Tony. All Dave or Hole to open up to get by both of them.
Yep. It's kind of like they're hogging up the whole track here. Come on, boys. Get by them.
They're battling really hard up here for the lead.
Oh, yeah. These three are really going at it. And Sean not giving him any, he's not backing off a bit. He got a little bit loose coming out of that turn, and Tony did get a little bit of ground on him, so Tony does go back in the lead without Sean side by side with him, so maybe they're going to settle back in here. Let's go back in through the field a little bit. David Howard still lurking in third. Teddy in fourth. Michael Johnson now closed up in the fifth, closed up pretty tight on you. Jeremy Patterson in the sixth position.
Since they were battling really hard, like I said, they were going to close on him really fast. And what did they do? They closed on him pretty fast.
Dustin Lee in the seventh position. And back here, Michael D'Amico in the eighth. And getting passed by Sean Dorr on the inside. Those two battling side by side, but Sean Dorr gets the line and goes by Michael D'Amico. As Michael tries to do the crossover maneuver, but gets him a little loose coming out of the turn there. But he's good job saving it. Well, these guys are really laying it out here tonight, Aaron.
Yeah, this is really fun to watch.
Eric Brantley back here in the 15th position, 3 laps down, but he's racing like he's on the lead lap. So great racing by Eric. Sean Dorr in the 10th spot. Steve Barding 11th. These two kind of having a little bit of a battle of their own going on. Kevin O'Brien up to the 13th spot, so great run by Kevin tonight. He's helping Ed with a little bit of admin stuff in the race, so you might not finish that well tonight, Kevin. I apologize for that. We'll get it all ironed out eventually, but great run by you tonight up there in the 12th spot. Matthew Breckel 13th. Rush running back here in the 14th spots. So I think, he's the last one on the lead lap. So great job by the Rush, to hang in there. So back up front here, Tony and Sean and David Howard still battling this out.
And William Kirk, I think he disconnected a couple laps ago.
Oh, he did. Well, he does have internet issues once in a while, and he may have been blinking. We didn't see it.
As Sean, he is really dogging Tony up here for this lead right now. He really wants to get this lead.
Oh, I'm telling you.
And David, it seems like, I don't know if they pulled away or maybe he just backed off because they're racing so hard and just saving his stuff. But David's still back there lurking.
Well, I'm not taking anything away from anybody else, but I'll tell you what, David Howard is a very, very smart racer. He's one of the smartest racers that I know. He knows when to push it, when not to, when to back off, when to try to go for the lead, and very conservative on his equipment.
Like Ed said, he's just like Mark Martin.
Yes, he is. Don't count him out, because at the end of the race, he's going to be there. As long as he doesn't get wrecked out or spin out and hit the wall or something like that, he's going to be there. Teddy Wisniewski here still hanging in the 4th spot, about a second and a half behind the leader, but geez, he's running great here tonight.
Yep. And Jeremy Patterson, he seems to be catching Michael Johnson here just a wee bit every single lap, so we may have a battle up here for the 5th position.
Go to the roof cam on Jeremy here and watch him for a little bit as he reels in Michael Patterson, or Michael Johnson right ahead of him. Excuse me. I got to get used to these new guys' names. And he has reeled Michael Michael in like, wow, man.
He's there.
Yeah, he is right there. We're going to stay with Jeremy for a few minutes here.
I think he's just biding his time, saving his tires, waiting for Michael to make a mistake.
We got a lead change going on up front. Sean and Tony battling side by side again. What a race is going on here. Oh, and they almost touch. Sean gets a little bit out of shape, and David closes right up on his bumper. And it looks like Sean's going to be the victor on that one, as Tony's going to go back into the second spot.
I think they may have had a little bit of netcode there.
Yeah, it could have been, but it was just enough that it pushed Tony up the hill just a little bit. So Tony tries to regroup here and get his tires cooled back off after that kind of close spin. David Howard lurking right here in third spot. I'm right on his roof cam, and man, I'm telling you what. There's some great racing going on up here, folks. You want to talk about intense?
We're not even halfway yet.
No, we're creeping
and
up.
We've had six lead changes so far.
Tell you here in a minute. 7 lead changes.
So it is getting really exciting up here.
7 lead changes, 1 caution is all we've had. So, well, I'd like to give a wave out to your family that's watching. I hope they're enjoying the show. And I'd like to thank you, Aaron, for helping out in the booth tonight. I appreciate it very, very much. It's you know, I can't thank you enough for helping me. You know, you do a great job in the booth with us, and we appreciate it.
No problem.
And also to your friend, what's your friend's name?
Dustin and William.
Dustin and William watching. Okay, well, give a shout out to them too.
Yeah, they were texting me earlier saying, "Oh, say our names, mention us." So we got that in. But while we were talking about that, Jeremy Patterson got by Michael Johnson for the 5th spot there.
Yes, he did. So Jeremy is coming. 4.2 seconds behind the leader, but he's doing really, really well as he's starting to reel in Teddy now.
The battle for the lead has really cooled down now. I think Tony's just saving his tires because he knows Sean wants to get up there and race for the lead all the time. He just may just be biding his time, waiting for Sean to make a mistake.
Jeremy he reels in Teddy just a little bit, and then Teddy pulls back away, but he's just hanging there about 0.6 of a second behind Teddy. So great job, but Teddy gets a little bit loose right there, though, and that's going to cost him almost a whole 1/10 of a second. So Jeremy's lurking there. He's hanging on.
Yep. Jeremy, on the long run, it seems like he is really fast.
David Howard, kind of backed off a little bit, about 1.2 seconds behind the leader. Just hanging loose there, and I think he's in the conservation mode right now. Saving fuel, saving tires. You know, he doesn't have anybody immediately challenging him. As Tony, it looks like Tony's looking to the inside of Sean for the lead again.
And he's going to clear him.
Yeah, nice. Good job. And that's lead change number 8. Wow, look at this. Laps coming to lap 71 here. But we're creeping up on halfway, Aaron, with only 1 caution.
That's really good. With all this nice racing that we've had, really strong racing, with 1 caution, that's pretty amazing.
Yes, it is. It's almost a mirror of last season. We ran 125 laps last season and had 2 cautions. but we had that 119 lap caution free in there in the middle, and that was just amazing racing.
Yes, it was. It seems like Dover's a really good track for everybody to run here, as the leaders will start catching lap traffic here pretty soon.
Yeah, they're starting to reel them in now. I believe looks like Rush and Michael D'Amico, them two racing side by side, doing some great racing. As Michael D'Amico gets by Rush, as Rush gets a little bit loose, Tony closes up on him, and Tony goes on the outside. Rush kind of goes low below the line and lets him go by. So great job by them. And Michael D'Amico out front there, and hopefully these leaders are communicating to these guys, these lap cars, as Michael does go up high and let the leaders go by. Great job. That's the kind of racing we like to see.
Rush seems like he's having a little bit of difficulty with his car right now, so it's nice to see him just getting out of the way, letting the leaders go by.
And he's probably feeling a little bit of that tire fall off too. As when they cross the line, we are halfway done here, folks. Halfway through this 150 lapper.
And guess where Jeremy is now? Up in 5th spot, taking it away from Teddy Wisniewski. I tell you what, he is coming for him.
Yes, he is.
He's about 3 seconds back from David Howard, about 3.5 seconds back.
So Jeremy is coming. Matthew Breckel getting way out of the way to let the leaders go by. Very good job. Very respectful racing going on out here now. I've seen a little bit of a turnaround from our last race, the last couple races. The last couple races have kind of been sketchy at best, and definite big turnaround here tonight. Back on the ovals, and I think that's going to make a big difference. Charlotte, not a good race for the trucks. I mean, it's fun and all, but very high speeds. They reach speeds of 180 mile an hour down the front stretch, and you can't run 3 wide there. It's just not possible. Well, I shouldn't say it's not possible. It is possible, but you better have 3 really great drivers. So Sean just hanging on there, just about 3/10 behind Tony, just kind of chilling. David Howard back here 3.1 seconds behind the leader, losing ground to him. And guess who's coming?
And Jeremy Patterson.
He's quite a ways back yet. He's 7 seconds behind the leader, but running all right, doing okay.
The thing with Jeremy, I think he's found his good spot right here, because some laps he's gaining on David, some laps he's losing on him, so he's just sort of in neutral ground right now, just riding out the rest of the race.
Sean Dorr running in the 11th spot, 1 lap down. Kind of keep an eye on those leaders up here as they're coming up on more lap traffic, and see how they're going to negotiate this. Tony coming up on the back end of 10th place here, Everett Lane. And see how they're going to negotiate this and make sure everything's good and clean. And time by, we're going to be taking lap 85, folks. So Tony gets on the inside of Everett Lane. Everett Lane going up a little bit high and letting him by, and comes back down onto the track. Now Sean Butler going to close up on him. But Sean's kind of falling back to almost a second behind Tony now.
Seems like Sean is really having trouble coming off the corners. It seems like he's really loose when he comes up off of them, and I think he's losing a little bit of time.
Definitely. He was loose right in the middle right there.
And those tires, they just went away.
Yep, they're just gone. As he's losing more time, 1.3 seconds behind Tony. And we all know Tony can drive a truck with the tires completely shot on it. He can drive it, you know. But you know, Sean's still putting down some good lap times.
Yep. It seems like he's sort of pulling away from David Howard just a little bit too, so I think he's found a little bit of neutral ground just like Jeremy has.
It's good to see these guys out here. They're all, you know, they're just racing the track. They don't have anybody immediately around them that they're racing for position. And you know, then when we get down maybe to 20 to go, we might see some good racing. It's Sean Butler back, or dang it, why do I keep... Jeremy Patterson back here, 8.4 seconds behind the leader in fourth spot. I think has just kind of settled into that fourth spot, probably hoping on a caution.
And I think he's really good on mid-run tires, not on the on a long run like we're on now. I don't think he's liking his truck too well right now.
Next time by, we'll take lap 90, so 60 laps to go. These guys are going to be exhausted when they get done with this race there. Jeez, oh man.
I can't imagine it because Dover is really hard, so they're going to be sore when they wake up in the morning.
Yeah. So David Howard Jr. getting by Everett Lane. Everett giving him that room and letting him by, so great job. Kevin O'Brien now going a lap down in the 9th spot as the leaders, and Tony Godwin and Sean Butler both got by him. So Tony Godwin out here just really putting the laps down in the books here. Going to probably get the point for leading the most laps again tonight. So great job by Tony.
Yep, and Sean, I don't think Sean wants to see Tony win because Tony is second points with 3 wins. That's going to put him at 4 wins compared to Sean's 1. With the most laps, that's going to put Tony in the lead of the points here.
Oh, brother. Well, next week's another one, and just have to go out and try to beat them. That's what's making these guys good racers. They've got a good racer that they're trying to beat each week, and it's making them better racers.
And Tony, he's running away with it now. I think Sean, if he has new tires, I think he can get up there and challenge Tony for the lead because he has passed him before.
Mm-hmm.
In green flag in runs. As we do have 2 cars on pit road right now, Jared Akey and Michael D'Amico.
As they come back off of pit road now. See, that puts Michael D'Amico 4 laps down, and Rush will go 5 laps down. So, but the leaders
pitting
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
And the leaders haven't pitted yet.
Yeah, I think him and Rush are maybe pulling a little bit of strategy here because they both pitted at the same time, and I saw that they were communicating back and forth on iRacing chat. So.
Very
and
cool.
maybe working something out, maybe short pitting.
I've seen Matthew Breckel come on pit road.
And Sean Doors on pit road 2 leaving now. So green flag pit stops may be coming up soon, so. As Sean Butler, our second place driver, is now coming into pits. Michael Johnson also on pit road gives up the 6th spot. Tony Godwin, your leader, comes on pit road now also.
All right, Sean taking right sides and left sides, full tank of fuel, and he's away. As Tony comes down to his pit stall now, well, let's see what Tony does. See what Tony does.
Teddy Wisniewski also coming in. I think the real question is if they're going to take 2, because I don't see anybody just taking 2 or taking fuel, because tires here, you're so much slower than everybody else on fresh tires, you're just going to be hurting yourself more than helping.
Exactly.
And David Howard gives up the lead to come to pit road now.
Teddy Wisniewski on pit road, doing a 4-tire change. David Howard Jr. coming to his pit stall. I think it's kind of foolish for them to do a 2-tire change, because, you know, you get 4 tires out there, 4 fresh tires, it could just run away from somebody that only did 2.
Yeah, because tires here, Dover's unrelentless on tires.
Steve Barding on pit road now. Hasn't led any laps today, but running in the 6th spot at the moment.
And caution
is out. Oh, that's going to hurt.
Oh, that's Michael D'Amico on the front stretch there. I don't know if David Howard got out of pit road before that happened, before the caution came out.
Yeah.
He may have got trapped on pit road, or he may have barely made it out.
And it looks like Michael just getting loose on his own here, coming out of the turn. Almost, well, he does tap the wall, and that gets him out of shape on the front stretch here. So, all right, Michael D'Amico bringing out the caution here on lap 102. This is going to change everything.
And if you go back to pit road, the front of pit road exit, David Howard Jr. barely makes it out, and he saved himself from getting trapped on pit road and getting a penalty.
Oh, wow.
Barely made it out. And Jeremy Patterson, he got caught on pit road also.
Dang. Yep. So there was the caution. Probably, well, it would have been too late for Jeremy then, because I was going to say he could have went on through, but it was too late. The caution was already out. He was trapped. So pace car is rolling out now, and all right, so these guys getting caught back up here. Now Jeremy, I believe, is going to be ahead of these guys. He will be at the tail end of the lead lap, which means he will get his wave by and he'll be at the back. He'll have to start clearing the back of this field.
So every single time we see green flag pit stops, there seems to be caution. These old tires, and we've seen 2 people sort of, both caution people sliding around and making contact with the wall. So it maybe a product of old tires, these cautions.
Well, we got a lot of trucks here that got caught on that are going to be getting the iRacing wave by. So, wow. And that will put Tony Godwin up into the first position. So yeah, a lot of victims of that caution staying out here. David Howard Jr., Matthew Breckel, Jeremy Patterson. These guys all got caught on pit road, and they come out ahead of the leaders, which means they'll get their way by, but they're going to be at the tail end of the field when they get the green flag.
Yep, and I think that's a bad thing for Jeremy, because his truck, we've seen his truck is really good on long runs, and he's going to be stuck behind there. He's going to spend a bulk of his time passing all the other slower trucks that he is faster than.
So, all right, well, we're looking at 45 to go when they cross the line. They should be able to make it on fuel, should be able to make it on tires. This just could be the end of the race right here if they go caution-free the rest of the way. Jeremy has led one lap, so he does get that point for leading a lap. Wow. Good deal.
He is in fourth in points, so he needs all the points he can get. Maybe catch up Tony and Sean.
Well, that's good. Who's in third in the points?
Dustin Lee is, and he's not having a very good night right now. He started off the year very strong, but I don't think Dover is really treating him too nicely.
Yeah. All right, so Jeremy getting away by Matthew Breckel, David Howard Jr., Rush, Michael Johnson, all getting away by. So the lights are off on the pace car. Everybody should be doubling up here. Don't know why they're not doubling up.
I think they had a wave around to get sorted out.
All right.
So they come around turn 4 with all their nicely painted trucks here, while the pace car ducks off, coming to the green here. Green flag.
Sean trying to get something working on that high side. Dustin Lee hanging right on the back bumper of Tony Godwin. So Dustin Lee going to move into the second position, and he does complete that pass on Sean.
And he is one of those people that benefited off of that, because he had already pitted, so he started up at the front of the field.
Yeah. Everett Lane here running in the 4th spot. So great run by Everett. Wow, man, where did he come from? Good job, Everett.
He's already back up to the 5th position right now. Jeremy Patterson, he's battling Teddy Wisniewski for the 5th position already.
And he does complete that pass on him here.
As we have a battle for the lead, Dustin Lee on the inside of Tony Godwin going into turns 3 and 4 right now. Dustin Lee, he's been at the back of the pack, not being able to really show his muscles, but he is now. As he tries to clear, man, he does clear Tony Godwin off that corner. Got really close up there. So that's Dustin Lee leading another point. He's third in points. He's got one win under his belt. If he wins tonight, that's going to be huge for him in the points.
Yes, it is. Tony coming up on the inside. Dustin drifted up the hill just a little bit. Opened that door on the bottom, but does manage to hold on to it. Got some good bite coming off of turn 4.
Dustin has a really good drive off compared to Tony, it seems like.
Oh,
and we have another caution.
Again.
Big wreck in the back, I think.
Ooh, looks like couple of them got together here. Looks like Everett Lane and Teddy Wisniewski. So let's go to the far chase view here and see Everett kind of drifting up the hill, but Teddy getting a little bit loose in the middle of the turn and coming up the hill and just tapping Everett in the side enough to kind of spin them both out. And David Howard Jr. right there barely makes it through. Oh, you want to talk about luck?
Yeah.
Come
we should
on.
Go on board with that on the roof cam.
Oh man.
See how close to that is.
I'm telling you what, that was amazing there. Yeah, let's go to the roof cam here. And let's see this transpiring right in front of David Howard Jr. And watch, you know, he really doesn't miss him. He barely taps him and comes out of it fine. Wow. That was amazing.
Really good record points by David. And the leaders are on pit road now.
Yes, they are. Everybody coming on pit road.
I think Tony Godwin may have stayed out.
No. Okay, Sean Butler on. A few takers here. And 4 tire changes also. Dustin Lee changing right side tires only, I think. Let's go back and take a look at that again. No, I take that back. He did change all 4. I take that back. All right.
So Tony, he did stay out. So this may be a little bit of a disadvantage for Tony on old tires here.
Anything's possible.
Yep. But a lot of the other guys are back in front of them now. So the people who pitted, they may be at a little bit of a disadvantage. Maybe help Tony out just a little bit. But old tires here do not seem to be running or working really good here.
Nope. And looks like, I believe, well, I'm not going to say for sure because I don't know. I'm thinking Eric Brantley may be the way by. I guess we'll find out in a minute here. Whenever they get 2 to go. But it just took lap 113, so 37 more to go, folks. 37 laps to go. And Eric Brantley does get the wave by. Now we've still got a few lap cars in between Tony and let's see, we've got Steve Barding here in the, I'll take that back. He's second. Dustin Lee third. Sean Butler now back into the 4th position. So the lap traffic happened to let the cars by, or trucks by here, to get caught back up to the field before they can go 1 to green. Michael Johnson in the 5th. Jeremy Patterson 6th. David Howard Jr. in 7th. Teddy Wisniewski 8th. Everett Lane 9th. And Kevin O'Brien 10th. Eric Brantley will be 15th, I believe, but Matthew Breckel in the 12th position. And Jared Akey in 14th position, 2 laps down. All right, well, Aaron, we're coming down close to the end here now, so what are you thinking is going to happen here? What do you think Dustin Lee might be able to pull something out from under his sleeve? And think he's got something for Tony?
I think he may. With these tires, I don't think that's going to help Tony at all, but you never know. Tony may run away with it, but I think with Steve Barding on the outside there, I think Dustin's at a little bit of a disadvantage on the start, and that may give Tony the advantage for the end of the race, but I wouldn't count out seeing one more caution.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because, see, we've already had, this is caution number 3 on lap 114. All in all, a pretty good race. I mean, I'm not complaining. I think it's been a pretty darn good race.
And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think we should run on board with on a restart here, see how they see it.
All right. Well, who you want to go on board with?
I'm going to do Jeremy Patterson because he's right in the thick of things.
Okay, well, I'm a little bit late now for it, so I can't do it. As the pace car ducks off. Green, green, green. Here we go. Tony gets a little bit of a jump. Steve Barding trying to get going on that high side, but drifts way up high. Sean, look at him, 3 wide in the turn. Holy smoke. Oh, we got a big one.
Loose.
We got a big one.
Gets Teddy Wisniewski. Jeremy Patterson got up into the wall just a little bit trying to avoid that, but all in all, Jeremy Patterson did a really good job of avoiding that. Michael Johnson hit the inside wall.
So let's go to the far chase view here. And it looked to me like maybe Steve really got loose coming out of that turn. They were 3 wide into that turn. And he gets really loose coming out of that turn and comes back down the hill right in front of David Howard Jr. Oh, and David gets plowed into the back end too. Oh, man. And Teddy Wisniewski getting a piece of that. Wow, yeah, quite a few of them getting a piece of that. So quite a few damaged trucks on that one.
I'm going to ride on board with Jeremy Patterson because he got on the brakes and sort of hit the wall, but all in all, he did a great job of avoiding Steve Barding.
Okay, let's go back to here.
I was watching Jeremy on that restart because it seemed like he was a hard charger. I thought he was going to get up there maybe and challenge for a top 5 position.
Yeah, I'm on the roof cam here of Jeremy Patterson now. And let's see what happens. Is he's watching this 3 wide right ahead of him. And I'm sure when he seen Steve going sideways, he thought, oh, no. But he did the right thing and staying high. But when Steve got punted back up the hill by David Howard Jr., he was like nowhere to go. Hits the wall. Saves it. Wow, great job saving it. And it looks like he is going to get by on the high side. So just a slight tap on the wall. Not bad. Matter of fact, we'll go to the... I don't even see any damage on that truck whatsoever.
He may have a little bit of wheel damage, but I don't think he's used any of his resets yet, or his reset yet. So he may be all good to go.
Yeah. Well, he was hard on the brakes, I'll tell you that.
Almost spun himself out. If there wasn't a wall there, he would have spun completely out.
Yeah. Great job. All right, so... where did our leader Tony go? Tony can stop on pit road?
He did pit.
Well, probably
so he gave up the lead.
Not a bad call, probably.
Yeah, because I think he saw how good the tires were, and that caution I think maybe helped him. But he's going to be behind everybody now. Everybody on the lead lap, which is quite a lot of people. So that may have put the nail in his coffin, maybe.
David Howard Jr. right behind him with a lot of tailgate damage, but he may be all right. Got a lot of tailgate damage.
Do you maybe want to interview Jeremy Patterson?
We could do that.
Lap down. Rush, you're the next one 2 laps down. You're the lucky dog if you do not get caught up in the mess.
Actually, I was going to do one of the other guys.
Alright, well, who do you think?
Everett Lane. Everett Lane, this is Rudy Cummings in the booth. You got a copy? Everett Lane, this is Rudy Cummings in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Rudy, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing good. How's the racing out there tonight? Are you pleased with how the race is going?
Oh yeah, very pleased how the race is going. Made a little mistake there. Probably should have got on the brakes a little bit there and not ran into that group that got sideways. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun tonight out here.
Well, that's great. Keep the nose of that thing clean as you guys start getting doubled back up here and bring it into victory lane. And good luck.
Thank you very much, Rudy. Thank you very much.
All right. I was going to do that earlier, and I just kind of slipped my mind. So Dustin Lee leading him around here. He led 9 laps. Sean Butler on his outside. And Tony kind of mired back in the field here a little bit. Let's see, what's he in, about 7th place. So we'll have to see if Tony can pick his way back up through the field. Pace car's off. Green flag, here we go. So 30 laps to go. Dustin Lee pulling out here a little bit. Sean kind of settling back in behind him. And Michael Johnson right there in the 3rd spot, looking for every advantage he can get to try to get a run on these two.
They're both slipping and sliding everywhere.
Man, look at this! Look at this 3-way battle going on up here, Darren. Oh my God, what a race!
Michael Johnson looked on Sean.
Whoa! Dustin Lee kind of shuts a door on Sean there. Every time Sean tries to get a run down there on that low side, Dustin closes the door on him.
And Dustin, he arcs it a whole lot more than Sean does, and Sean, he just can't get under him.
Just going to have to wait for Dustin to get a little bit loose in the turn. Coming out of the turn right there, Dustin did get just a little bit loose. Sean's got the nose in underneath him. These two going side by side, and we've seen this side-by-side racing, and boy, I'm telling you what, and Sean completes that pass on Dustin Lee for the top position. And look who's coming up here in the 4th position already. Tony Godwin passing Michael Johnson for the 3rd position. So Tony's coming fast.
Dustin, he has really turned his race around tonight, battling for the lead now. After running 5th, 6th, 7th back in there the entire race, just biding his time, and it's really paying off for him now.
Jeremy Patterson passing Michael Johnson for the 5th position. So Jeremy coming up through the field quite a little bit.
And Sean seems to be running away with it now.
David Howard Jr. hits a wall. Dang it. Get away from that. All right, Dustin Lee going back to the 3rd position now as Tony gets by him and clears him. Dang, I hate to leave this. 25 laps to go, folks. 25. Dustin Lee trying to battle back on that inside, but can't quite make it stick good enough. And as they battle right here, yes, you were right, Aaron. Sean is pulling away.
This is going to shape up to be a really good race here between Sean and Tony. Sean's,
trying to prove out here that he's strong, and he is. I'll tell you what, I'd never count out Sean. Sean's just one heck of a good racer.
But Tony, he is catching him just a little bit.
About 4/10 behind him. Loses a little bit of ground in the turns. Sean a little bit better in the turns, but Tony a little bit better coming off. So now back to 4/10. So yeah, these two here battling it really hard. We'll go back here in the field a little bit and let's see David Howard Jr. about a 1.5 seconds behind our leader. And a second behind him is Jeremy Patterson. And 6th place, Eric Brantley has come back from, I think he was 2 laps down at one time. And look at this, he's running in the 6th position. Holy smokes.
I think he actually was 5 laps down at one point because he got up in that first wreck.
Maybe, but Michael Johnson now moved back to the 7th position. Kevin O'Brien 8th. Doggone it. Everett Lane back to the 9th position. Matthew Breckel 10th. Rush running in the 11th spot, so good job by him. And Steve Barding has taken his behind the wall, so let's get back up here to this leader, because, man, there's some good racing going on up here.
And Tony seems to be closing, but he's keeping Dustin in tow right now, so if Tony and Sean get to racing, then I think Dustin may be able to slither by them.
And David Howard Jr. come out of that turn. Boy, he was really loose. Superheated them tires. That's to back off just a little bit to kind of regain his composure here, cool them tires off.
I think David is just holding on for dear life right now. I think he has really bad steering problems.
And Jeremy is catching him pretty quick here.
And we have one car in the grass.
Oh,
Jared
yeah.
Akey.
Oh, man. But he keeps it off of the racetrack, so no caution. 19 laps to go, folks. 19 to go. Out of this 150 lapper here at Dover, man, well, this has been a great race here today. Tony's still hanging there about 4/10 behind our leader. So them two just stand dead even. You know, them two, I say it all the time, I think them two are about evenly matched out on the track. You know,
I would agree.
About anywhere where they go, Aaron, they're really evenly matched, you know.
Yeah. Sean, he can race up there with Tony, and if Sean gets ahead of him, it seems like he can really beat out Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Like we saw it last year at Las Vegas. He powered by him and drove away from him. We saw it multiple times this year. At Darlington, Sean was amazing at Darlington.
16
and he's been
laps,
up at the front.
16 laps to go, and Tony's right there, 0.3 of a second right on his bumper.
He's going to catch him here in a little bit, in a couple laps, and it's going to be a race for the lead here.
Yeah, and we're going to see some side-by-side battling going on there, I believe. So Tony, about 1.1 seconds back to Dustin Lee, and then David Howard clear back here, about 3 seconds behind this leader, and Jeremy Patterson running in the 5th position. It's a good run by Jeremy today. Good run by David Howard. Good run by everybody out here today, man. I'm telling you, this track kind of a little bit tough. All right, 14 to go.
Tony, I don't know if he's biding his time, maybe, just waiting for Sean, or saving his tires, maybe. I don't think that's going on, but it just seems like he's not being able to catch him like he wants to.
Yep, he's just hanging there a couple of tenths back. He's caught him up to about 2/10 now. He's starting to feel the draft really good, and he's going to start reeling Sean in pretty good on the straightaway now.
I've noticed Tony, he's been really loose off the corners, and he's had to be lifting a lot coming off the corners.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of time on the corners, but he seems to be gaining it on the straightaways because he can get that draft off of Sean. Sean, he powers it in the corners, man. He just powers it in there. This is amazing right here. This is good racing right here with 11 to go, folks. 11 laps to go. Tony right on the bumper, hanging 2/10 back behind Sean, just ready to strike. As this time by, they're going to take their 10 to go. Tony gets a little bit loose that time going into the turn, but makes it up coming off the turn. While them two are battling here at 10 to go, let's go back here. Dustin Lee about 2.1 seconds back. David Howard about 3.2 seconds. And Jeremy Patterson about 4.5 seconds. Eric Brantley about 6.7 seconds back. Michael Johnson in the 7th position, 10 seconds behind the leader. Kevin O'Brien there in 8th spot. Matthew Breckel in 10th. Everett Lane still running in the 9th, hanging on to the lead lap, 17 seconds behind the leader. It looked like he's kind of struggling with the loose condition. but hanging in there. So back up front here, we've only got a few trucks left on the track here, Aaron.
And Tony, he is there on Sean's bumper. He just can't pass it. Sean's taking up his line.
With 8 laps to go here, folks. 8 laps to go. We're coming down to the boiling down to the end because this is some hot racing. Alright, so Tony's hanging right there in that second spot. Just, wow. I mean, we're waiting to see what Tony's going to do here across the line to take 6 to go. I'm not really too awful sure if Tony's got anything for Sean or not, Aaron. I think he's putting everything out that he's got.
I think he'll give it a shot. I don't know if he can do it, though.
He closes up on his bumper pretty tight here, but Sean is strong in these turns and just holding his lines. Tony closes right up on his bumper that time. Not enough to get by him. He's going to have to wait as they come to 5 to go now. 5 laps to go, folks. And look at this intense racing going on here. Wow.
He's looking. He gets really loose off the corner, Tony does, and he's just losing that extra time.
He backs it off a little bit that time to see if he can get a run coming off. But it didn't quite work that time. Let's see how it's going to work this time coming by. 4 laps to go. We're clicking them down here real fast. Oh, and Tony gets loose coming out of the turn again. That's going to cost him about a 10th.
I think that just gave Sean the win, maybe.
Well, that could be, because I think Tony's really battling a loose condition right now. And because I've seen him wiggle almost every turn coming out of the turn. So you know he's pushing that truck for everything he's got.
And you don't hear that too often. Tony is fighting a loose condition.
Yeah.
Because he drives the car sideways most of the time.
And I think we're going to probably see that here on the last lap or two. We're going to see him going sideways. All right, 2 to go, folks. 2 laps to go. As these two here battle it out, coming to the finish line, and they got 1 more lap after this one. When they cross the line, they're going to get the white flag.
There is a lap car in front of them, but I don't think they're going to catch them. And it's coming down white flag now for Sean Butler. See if Tony Godwin can make a move. He doesn't do it in turns 1 and 2, but he's going to milk the truck for everything it's got. Right on his back bumper, really loose. He's going to look low. He's not going to do it, though. Coming down into turns 3 and 4, Tony looks high, but he slides up the track just a bit. Coming down off the turns 3 and 4, Tony slides it off the track, but Sean's going to win it at Dover.
Wow, great finish. What a race. Holy smokes, what a race.
Tony was taking it for everything he had.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, that was freaking amazing. So Sean Butler winning here tonight at Dover, 150 laps. Well, you know, we're going to look here real quick and see what the race analysis pokes up. 4 cautions, 16 lead changes. That is, wow, that's unheard of. That is unheard of. So as he does his burnout here, Aaron, let's go down trackside.
Infinite points do count after the race, remember?
Go ahead and interview him.
Sean Butler, this is Aaron Davis in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy, Aaron.
Wow. We really saw you and Tony battling there in the final laps, even in the beginning of the race. And I just want to know how you held them off there at the end, coming to the checkered.
The only place to pass really here is on the bottom, and that's, you know, once you can stuff it under someone on the bottom, that's why I was protecting the bottom. And so I thank Tony for running me real clean there at the end. I know I probably held him up a little bit, but it was an awesome race.
All right, thank you, Sean.
Tony, do you have it? Or Rudy, you have anything else to say?
Yeah, great race, Sean, and congratulations coming home first spot. You know, that was some of the best racing I've seen in quite a while, and you know, great job by all of you guys out there racing tonight. And I didn't mean to give the lead all the hog on the camera, but man, that's where the race was happening, right up there. And great job to you and Tony. You guys raced each other so clean. And again, congratulations, Sean. You want to give a shout out to anybody or give a thank you to anybody?
If my little brother in Chicago is watching, I'll see you tomorrow. Gonna go watch Chicago race with them live, so it should be fun. And just thank everyone for awesome racing tonight, and Tony for, like I said, being patient.
All right, well, good job out there tonight. Way to go, Sean. Tony Godwin, this is Rudy Cummings in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Wow, Tony. I mean, we watched you them last few laps. You were sliding coming out of every turn. And we thought maybe you were just doing that just to see if you had enough for him. Did you have anything for Sean? Do you think you could have got by him?
I don't know. I was giving it about all it would take. I kind of used up my tires and all, trying to come back up through after that last caution when I pitted, and I would close on him some, and then I'd cook the tires up, so I'd have to slow back down and cool them off and go again, and I was trying to set him up to get under him coming off of one of the corners, but I couldn't quite get it.
Well, great job out there today, Tony. Coming home second, you and Sean battle that so hard like that. Man, there's nothing to be ashamed about. You two up there racing, and whoever finished first and second, you both, man, were really, really racing it hard. And, you know, again, great show you two put on up in the front. And congratulations again on your second place.
Appreciate it, Rudy.
You got anything for him, Aaron?
Tony, I don't really have any questions for you, but I'm just going to say you drove one heck of a race, and that was really fun to watch, and congratulations on your second place.
Appreciate it.
All right, Tony, you got anybody you'd like to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Just appreciate you and Ed and Aaron for commentating, and the admins, and I'll just appreciate everybody's work. Jeremy's work on the broadcast stuff, just everybody's work.
All right, thank you very much, Tony. Appreciate that very, very much. All right, go ahead, Aaron. You want to get Dustin?
All right, Dustin Lee, this is Aaron Davis in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
At the beginning of the race, we sort of saw you like back in 5th and 6th, racing hard up there. But on that, I think it was the second caution when the pit cycles got out of whack and everything. You really flexed your muscles at the front. Were you just conserving the beginning part of the race and just let it all go at the end?
Yeah. I started out pushing really bad, and then this progressively got worse. So I just kind of played back and tried to save my stuff.
But all in all, that was a good third place finish that you rallied together. And Brady, do you have anything else for him?
Yeah. Great run out there today, Dustin. Congratulations on your third place finish, buddy. That was some great racing up there. I seen so much respect out on this track tonight. It was just amazing. 4 cautions really ain't too bad for 150 laps, but we had 16 lead changes. That's just unheard of. And to have as clean a racing as you guys put out tonight, congratulations to every one of you. The great racing out there. And Dustin, congratulations to you coming home third. You want to give a shout out to anybody or give a thank you to anybody?
Thank you guys for putting this on, and Jeremy on the broadcast here, and girlfriend, she's watching over here. So just thank y'all for putting it on.
All right, Dustin, thank you very much. All right, so there we have it. Let's go. Let's give a rundown here real quick, Aaron, and we'll see where everybody here. Sean Butler, of course, our winner. Tony Godwin coming in second. Hanging right on his bumper, finished 1/10 of a second behind him. That's how close they were. Dustin Lee in third spot there, back about 3.5 seconds behind him. Fourth place, David Howard Jr. Fifth, Jeremy Patterson. Good run by Jeremy. Eric Brantley. Wow, what a finish by Eric today. Man, I'm amazed. That was just amazing. Coming home sixth, Kevin O'Brien seventh, Michael Johnson eighth, Everett Lane ninth, Matt Breckel 10th, Jared Akey in the 11th spot, Steve Barding 12th, Teddy Wisniewski 13th, Sean Dorr 14th, Michael D'Amico finishing in the 15th spot, William Kirk 16th, Steve Hurst 17th, and that rounded out the whole field right there. So great run by everybody out here today, and congratulations to our winner Sean Butler. And we will see you next week here at Maximum Speed Racing. And thanks for following with us there, folks.